and see me properly. If you all can hear me and see me properly, type LC loud and clear in the chat box. Yes, if you all can hear me loud and clear, type LC loud and clear in the chat box, and then we all can begin the session. Yes. Very good morning. I'm super excited to see you all live. If you are also excited, type excited in the chat box. The session has already started, Mansoor, right? Okay. Very good morning. And without wasting even a single second of yours, let's quickly see that what we are going to do and build in today's class. But before that, the most important question that almost every student asks with me, and that is, Ashi, who are you? Why we should listen out to you, and what we are exactly going to do in this live webinar, right? So here is a quick answer for all of that. So welcoming you inside the live bootcamp of JavaScript. Very good morning. I hope you are excited as I am. Yes. If you are ready with the pen and paper to take a lot of notes, type ready in the chat box. If you're someone still not grabbed your pen and papers, go quickly grab it right now. It's very important to have your pen and papers handy, okay? So please be quick. Quickly grab your pen and papers. It's the most important thing, right? Okay. Moving ahead, the second thing to be ready is that you're going to attend the session live with me till the end. Till the end means till 10:30 a.m., right? If that's the case, type TTE till the end in the chat box. If you're going to attend the session till the end live with me, type TTE till the end in the chat box. Thank you so much, Tarun, Mansoor, waiting for others. It's TTE till the end, okay? Amazing. Now, I know you want to know more about me, who I am, what I do, and why you should listen out to me. So, hi everyone. Once again, very good morning. My name is Ashish, and I have been doing freelancing for the last 6.5 years as a full stack developer. Not just that, I have been into All Indian Council of Robotics and Automation as a full stack developer, and then I was at AOSPL as a senior full stack developer. 2019, I was at Lido Learning as a tech lead. 2020, the COVID hits, the toughest time we all had faced, right? And that was the time I decided to quit my job, and I decided to build up Code Karo. And so far, I have taught more than 3.5 lakh students inside my community. If that sounds amazing, type AMZ in the chat box. If that sounds amazing to you, type AMZ in the chat box. And if you know about Code Karo, if you've heard about that, and if you've attended my sessions, type IK I know in the chat box. If you've heard about Code Karo, type IK I know in the chat box if you've known me before. We have Harsh here, we have Amit, Mansoor. A lot of people knows me. Great. Amazing. We have Piyush here. We have Raju here. Amazing. Good to see a lot of people who knows Code Karo. Okay. So what we are going to do today is in today's session, we are going to talk about JavaScript in good detail. Okay. Okay. A lot of people knows me here. We have Karthike, we have Ashish, we have Nilesh, we have Jayant. Okay. Amazing. Tons of people are here. Okay. So this is what I've done so far. I have helped more than 35,000 people become full stack developers who are currently working in companies like AMD, Intel, Zoho, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, ICICI Bank, Barclays, and tons of other companies as a front end and as a full stack developers. Sounds good? If that sounds good, type SG in the chat box. And if you are excited now to learn more with me, type excited in the chat box. Yes, if you're excited to learn more with me from here onwards, type excited in the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Piyush, Satish, Bela, Akash, Kaveri, waiting for others. Jayashri, thank you so much. All right. Now, moving ahead, here are two important things. What are those two important things? Number one, here are some rules and regulations that you all need to follow. Okay. Number one, your mics and cameras will always be off just to make sure you all can hear me loud and clear without any distractions. Okay. Number two, please make sure there are no unwanted or personal messages in the chat box, else you'll be removed without any warning. Okay. The next and the most important thing is, if you have any kind of doubt, then please do not hesitate while putting your doubts and questions. I would literally love to answer your doubts and questions, and that's why live sessions are literally amazing. Okay. And the most important thing, the biggest mistake we all do when we are learning live or when we are learning in form of recordings also, The biggest mistake we all try to do is we try to code with the instructor. Yes or no? And that is why the whole focus and attention is to copy the code that the instructor is writing rather than understanding the concepts. But today I want you to break that pattern and I want you to focus on understanding the concepts and taking notes rather than copy pasting the code. I will share the source code with all of you at the end inside the WhatsApp group. If that is clear to everyone, type clear in the chat box. If that's clear, type clear in the chat box, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fennel. We have Nitesh here. We have Arun. We have Gurudev, Ankit, Hemant, Himatanaj, Piyush, Malik. Amazing. Amazing. Here we go. Now you'll not be able to see what others are even typing in the chat box, just to make sure that you are not getting distracted by what others are writing and typing in the chat box. Okay. Here we go. Now, two most important questions. Ashish, will I be able to get a recording of this live webinar? And the answer is no. It's a pure live webinar with no recordings or replays. So it's going to be a pure live webinar. No recordings or replays of this will be shared. Okay. Number two, that you need to attend the whole session live. You'll not get any kind of reference or replays of this live session. So be there till the end. And if you have lots of questions, put it in the chat box. I would literally love to answer lots of questions. If everything is clear and you're excited, let's quickly jump onto the coding part directly now. Yes, if you're excited, let's quickly jump onto the coding part directly. If you're excited, type excited in the chat box. Okay. Let me quickly share my screen with all of you and then we all can move ahead. Here we go. All right. So I believe that my screen is visible to everyone. If the screen is visible, type visible in the chat box. We will be using Visual Studio Code. You can use any editor that you are comfortable with. Okay. So we'll open the VS Code, right? And for the same, I'll go on, let's say, documents, or I could go over here and I can use this folder. I can create a new folder, name it as BCA JS Bootcamp 2, right? We'll open this folder up and we have a blank new folder over here, right? So what we are going to do now is I'll just do two things very quickly. I'll create two files, right? One will be my HTML file and second is going to be my JavaScript file. So I'll name it as app.js. Okay. Now, see, it's a very humble request of mine. Please do not copy paste the code. Take notes, understand the concepts, and clarify your doubts. And I will share the code with all of you at the end. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? If it's clear, type clear once again in the chat box. Right. So, Ashish, what we are going to learn in today's class, in today's session, we are going to talk about three amazing concepts, amazing and powerful concepts known as the variables. We'll be talking about functions and we'll be talking about DOM, right? So, three core concepts that we will be talking about in today's session, right? Moving ahead, what we are going to do next is we are again going to focus on two important projects. That's going to be a bill split application. Not just that, we'll also be making a currency converter application. We'll do all that live in the session, right? We'll do all of that live in the class today. If you're excited to build these two projects live with me in the session, type excited in the chat box. Yes, if you're excited to build that live with me today, quickly type excited in the chat box. Thank you so much, Harish, Malik, Fenil, Nidhi, Swaroop, waiting for others. Okay. Okay, perfectly fine. So what we are going to do next over here is, see, it's going to be very easy and simple stuff, right? Okay. And before that, how the JavaScript actually works behind the scenes. It's very important for us to understand that how actually the JavaScript works. So whenever you write the JavaScript code, you can do that number, not an issue, right? Whenever you write the JavaScript code, right, that JavaScript code is actually being passed inside the browser, yes or no? And then we get the output. But the question is, what happens inside the browser so that we get the output? Yes or no? What is happening inside the browser? How the JavaScript code is being compiled and how we get the desired result, right? And the answer is that inside the browser, we have something very interesting and powerful, which is known as the JS engine, right? And now this JS engine is actually responsible for compiling the JavaScript code, right? So we have something as JS engine over here, right? And this JS engine is actually responsible for understanding your JavaScript code, right? And to give you the desired result. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? If it's clear, type clear in the chat box. Now, different browsers use different kind of JS engines. Like in Chrome, we have the most popular engine known as V8 engine. Then we have the Firefox, which uses the engine known as the Spider Monkey. Then we have Safari, we have Edge based on Chromium, and so on. Right? So the question is, Ashish, if I'm using different browsers, like let's say Chrome or let's say Edge or whatever, so will my output will change? And the answer is no, right? Whether you are running your code on Edge or on Chrome or on Firefox, you will get the same output, right? So you do not need to worry on that part, right? It is just that you need to know that what is actually happening behind the scenes. It is very important for you to know that. Okay, that is why I have just made a quick clarification on that. Is that clear to everyone? If it is clear, type clear in the chat box. Okay. Now, what we are going to do next over here is we understood this much. So now let's start writing the JavaScript code. Very easy and simple. Because I am on VS Code, you can use any editor that you are comfortable with. You can use Atom, you can use Sublime, you can use JetBrains, you can use PHP Storm, WebStorm, whatever you are comfortable with, right? Just ignore Notepad or Notepad plus plus, right? Something that is I will not highly recommend anyone to do that. Okay, going over here, I could say HTML and I could choose HTML5 from here. And if you see, this basic HTML code is being generated, right? Because I want to write some JavaScript, I can use the script tag, and inside this script tag, I can simply say console.log, and I could say something as I could say hello world. And if we go live, right, I'll just see a blank screen, right? I would not be able to see any output, but if I right click, I go on inspect the element, and now I go over here onto an option called console. If you see here, we have an option called hello world. Simple. That's a very easy way to write the JavaScript code. That's way one. Now we can even write the JavaScript code inside our app.js file. So we can directly say something as console.log, and I could say something as app.js is connected, like this. Now the question is, Ashish, that is okay, but I have a question. Why we have not used the script tag here? See, because it is already a JavaScript file, and that is why there is no need to use the script tag over here. You can directly write the JavaScript code. Okay. Now, if you see this, if we go in the output, we cannot see app.js is connected. Now, what is the issue? The issue is, again, if you take a closer look, this is a different file and this is a different file. So if I want to use them together, I need to link both the files together. Yes or no? What I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to link both my files together quickly. Yes or no? Which is again easy and simple. And doing that, I could go on this script tag, right, with an src attribute saying app.js, right? And if you see this, it says app.js is connected. Pretty easy and simple, no rocket science. If it's easy, type ES, easy and simple in the chat box. If it is easy and simple, type ES in the chat box. Yes, ES stands for easy and simple. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sakshi, Aaron. We have Samson, Jain Chaudhary, Vela Shri, we have Tarun, Vasupradha, we have Ankit, we have Nilesh, waiting for others. Okay. Now, moving on to the next part, here is something that also we are supposed to understand. See, what that is, I could go over here. This is how it all looks like. Now, let's move on with the very first concept. I will even remove this and will even close this side. Not need. Now we don't need this. We can move on to the first concept called variables. Right? There are three ways to create variables in JavaScript. That is var, let and const. What is the meaning of this, Ashish? What is the meaning of var, let, and const? See, what is what is a variable? Have you all seen containers inside the kitchens? Yes or no? Have you all seen the containers inside the kitchens where we store the values? Yes or no? And then when we need the values, we go onto this container and we take the value out from it. Quickly, yes or no? You all would have seen those containers. Quickly, yes or no? Yes? Perfectly fine. So if you see this right now, variables are like containers where you can store the values, right? Now there are three different ways to create a container, right? We have var, we have let, and we have const. Var was a previous version in ES6. Let and const were introduced to create variables in JavaScript. Okay, so that is how it all works. Now moving ahead, see, this is being done, and moving on to the next part, what our focus and intention is right now. The focus and intention is to understand that how can we create a variable. So it's not possible to cover the difference between var, let, and cons in today's session, otherwise the whole session will just go on this. So we'll just focus on this keyword let to create our variables for now. Okay, we'll just use the let keyword to create our variables. See, we can go over here and we can simply say that let, and let's say I want to store coffee, so I can say that let coffee is equals to brew, right? What's the meaning of this? See, this means I'm taking a new container, right? And then in that container I'm putting a label means I'm putting a name slip on top of that container that I want that this is coffee, and then this is the value, right? So I'm storing the value into this container. Is that clear to everyone? What we have did, we took a container, we put a name onto it, and then we put the value onto it, right? So I put a name into my container, and then in that container, I stored a value. Is that clear to everyone? If it is clear, type C in the chat box. If it is clear, quickly type C in the chat box. Great. Now, if I want to print it out, I could go over here and I could say something as console.log, and I could say coffee. And if you see this, I could see brew over here. Simple, which means that the value that is being stored inside this variable is being printed. Now, if I want to update my value, it is again easy and simple. I can just say coffee, and coffee is equals to now Nescafe. And if you see this output now, so it says Nescafe over here. It is the same variable, but because the value got changed, so the output also changes. Okay. Now, I know you are having a question at Ashish, why we have not used let for the second time. And the answer for that is, see, because we already have the container and only the container became empty, right? So there's no point taking a new container, but we can put the value onto the same container. Yes or no? We can put the value onto the very same container. Quickly, yes or no in the chat box. Quickly, yes or no in the chat box. Y or N in the chat box. It's already initialized. Absolutely, Sakshi. So that is how it works. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Now, similarly, you can store any sort of values. For example, you want to store a name, you can say, or you want to store an email ID, you can say that let email is equals to ashish at the rate codekaro.in, right? So if you see this now, and if I print here email, so it says that I have this ashish at the rate codekaro.in. If that's easy and simple, type ES in the chat box. If that is easy and simple, then please quickly type ES, easy and simple in the chat box. Thank you so much, Vashupradha, Mansoor, Redmi, Malik, Sakshi, Ankit. Are you here in the class? Ankit, if you're here in the class, let me know in the chat box. Ankit, if you're here in the class, uh, let me know in the chat box. Ankit from BCA Codewala, if you're here, do let me know in the chat box. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next part. And what we are going to do over here is, see, this is what we have done, right? Now, let's move on to the second concept that's going to be the functions. What if I say that a lot of students might find functions difficult. If you find functions difficult, type me in the chat box. If you are finding functions difficult, type me in the chat box. If you are finding functions difficult, quickly type me in the chat box. Not an issue, not an issue, Nitish, Zia, Shahid. What if I say I can teach you the complete functions in just 5 minutes of time? What if I say I can teach you the complete functions in just 5 minutes of time? Can you believe me? In just 5 minutes, and you will never ever forget the functions in your whole life. Can you believe me on that? You will never ever forget the functions in your whole life. Can you believe me? If you can believe me, type I believe you in the chat box. If you can believe me, type I believe you in the chat box. Please be quick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Waiting for others. Please be quick. Okay. See, here's the stuff. Have you all seen mixers, grinders inside the kitchens? Yes or no? Have you all seen mixer and grinder inside the kitchen? Yes or no in the chat box? So we can use this grinder to grind something quickly. Yes or no? I can use this grinder to grind something. Yes or no? But can I use this grinder for any other purpose? Like, can I use this grinder to bake something, or can I use this grinder to air fry something, or can I use this grinder for let's say for any other purpose, right? To steam something. Is it possible to do all these things? Can I use grinder for all these purposes, right? Why we cannot do that? The reason we cannot do that, because the whole intention is to make sure that it is a tool which can only do one operation, which is of grinding, and I can grind it as many time as I want. Yes or no? So it totally depends on the, it totally depends on the, depends on what? It totally depends on the tool, right? That this can perform one task and I can use it as many times as I want. Now, same thing happens over here. And what that is this. See, if we go back, right, and we say what could be a function? So, function could be a code which can perform a specific task, right? Not all the tasks, we can perform just a specific task. And that also when we want, not on its own. Yes or no? That is what a function is. Will you always remember that now? How to create a function? Because I'm creating a function, we can start by function and we can say that function name is grinder, right? This should be the name of your function. And now I could say something as console.log and I could say grinding. Simple. If we see this, I cannot see any output over here apart from my email ID. So I will just disable this console. Why I'm not able to use it? See, the grinder is ready, but until and unless we turn the switch on, it will not work on its own. Yes or no? We need to turn the switch on to make it work. And doing that is again very easy and simple. And that is, I could go on and I can call my function that is like this. I can say grinder over here. And if you see this, so now I'm able to call the function and it says grinding. Easy and simple. Similarly, I can grind it for as many times as I want. I could go here, I could say grinder once again. And if you see this, so now my grinder is running for 2 times. Is that clear to everyone? If it is clear, type clear in the chat box. If that is clear to everyone, then type clear in the chat box. How easy it is to call a function. If it is easy, type ES in the chat box. If it is easy to call a function, type ES in the chat box. Okay. Will you ever forget the functions now? Will you ever forget the functions now? How easy it is to create a function. Okay. Now you might be thinking, Ashish, all that is okay, but when we are going to make something with JavaScript, how many of you are having that question? If you're having that question, type me in the chat. But Ashish, all that is okay. It is easy to understand, but it is boring, right? We want to make some projects. We want to make the stuff out of it. Yes or no? Okay, let's quickly do it right now. Okay, let's do it right now. So what I'll do is, let's say we have a container class, and inside it, I said I could have an heading tag that says how is the boot camp or how is the master class going for you, right? And we could have a button over here with a class called button, and we could say it's amazing, right? So if you see this, we have a heading that is how is the masterclass going for you, and we have a button called it's amazing, right? So what I want that when I click on it's amazing, I should get a text over here that says thanks for the feedback. How cool that would be. I could get a feedback over here that says thanks for the feedback. Will that be amazing? If that's going to be amazing, type AMZ in the chat box and I'll show you how to do that in just 2 minutes. Okay. Before I do that, let's style it, right? So because when we style something, it starts looking good, and it it looks good at the end, right? So I'll create one more file for CSS. I'll name it as style.css. This is not a CSS class, so I'll not explain the CSS, but I'll quickly write the CSS, right? Font family could be Roboto, which is my personal favorite font, right? Then we have created a class called container where I can say that the width is 400 pixels. I could say that the um, margin is 50 pixels in auto. And then I could have my button, and I could say that a background color is going to be this. I could say that the color is white. I could say that the padding is 16 pixels and 38 pixels. I could say that the okay, we could say that the border is border is none, and I could say that the border radius is going to be of 12 pixels. Okay, I could say font size, which is of 15 pixels, and at the end, I could say that the cursor is pointer. Okay, it is done. Let's go here and let's link the CSS quickly. So if I link my CSS, see, this is what we have got. If it looks good, type LG in the chat box. If it looks good to you, type LG in the chat box. Right? We have just written few lines of CSS, and this is what we have achieved. Right now, the next thing is that okay, all is fine. How can we click on this button and we can get our output that is thanks for joining the bootcamp? Very easy and simple to get that. I'll go over here and in this section, before I tell you how to do that, I just have one single question. And my question is pretty straightforward. And the question is, how many of you have clicked the doorbell of your neighbors in the childhood and used to run away from there? In the childhood or in the hostel, you used to click the doorbell of your neighbors, and before they open the gate, you were supposed to run away from there. How many of you did that? If you've done the same, type me in the chat box. If you've done that, type me in the chat box. If you've done that, please quickly type me in the chat box. Yes. If you've done that, quickly type me in the chat box. Why I'm asking this question? Because I have done it multiple times, right? If you've done that, type me in the chat box. Please be quick. If you've done that, type me in the chat box. Waiting for others. Please be quick. Waiting for others. We have Mayank here. We have Shashikant. We have Ashwin. We have Hamza. We have Fennel. We have Aman. We have Kaveri. We have Himanshu. We have Jyoti. We have Kartike. We have Swaroop, Sakshi. We have Nidhi Arun. We have Vashup Sudha. Tons of people are here. Okay. Now, it's a three-step process. See, if you see this, when you click the doorbell, then what will happen? When you click the doorbell, then the first thing will happen is that the doorbell will ring. Yes or no? And my drawing is a bit bad, but I hope it is more than enough for you to understand the things. And when the doorbell will ring, someone will come and open the door for you. Yes or no? So it is a three-step process, right? Where the things is that you have a trigger point. Trigger means when you click the doorbell, that was a trigger, and because of that trigger, the doorbell rings. So that was the action that has happened, and because of that action, because when the doorbell rings, then you got a result, and that was someone came and opened the door for you. Yes or no in the chat box? So basically it is a three-step process, which is trigger to action and action to result. Yes or no? Okay. So at the very same way, Whenever in JavaScript, you need to create a functionality that when I do this, then this should happen. All that kind of functionality. Now, what you want to do and what you want to get a result, that is a different thing. But wherever this process is involved, that when I do this, then only this should happen, then this process will be used. Trigger, action, and result. You might have never heard of this before because I have created these kind of multiple examples only for my students. So if you see here, it is a three-step process called trigger, action, and result. Can you all type TAR, trigger, action, and result in the chat box, please? TAR, trigger, action, and result in the chat box. Okay, perfect. So let's see how to do it. Very easy and simple to be done. See, I could go over here and I could say that this is my button. And when someone click on this button, this will be the trigger point, yes or no? And after this click, I could call a function that is the action I'm taking, yes or no? I can call a function basically. And this function is my action, yes or no? And because of this action, we'll get a result, right? Because inside the function, we'll write the logic to get our desired result. If that makes sense to you, type ms makes sense in the chat box. If that's making sense to you, type ms makes sense in the chat box. Yes, that how can we do it? If that makes sense to you, type ms makes sense in the chat box. Once again, what we'll do, when anyone will click on this button, that will be my trigger point, and because of that trigger point, we'll take an action, and the action is we'll call a function, right? And inside a function, we'll write the logic to get our desired result. So that will be the result. Okay, simple. Now see how to write it. It's very easy and simple to write this code. We'll go on the HTML file. What I want, when anyone click on this button, yes or no? When anyone click on this button, then I want to do something, yes or no? So I'll go here. I'll say that on click, I want to call a function, and that function is, let's say, feedback, like this, right? I'll go on my JavaScript file, and now we can create a function, right? Easy and simple. We could start by the function, and we could say that the function is feedback. And inside this, I could simply say console.log function called. So if you see this now, it says, how is the master class going for you? Question mark, and it says it's amazing. If I click on this, it says function called. How easy it is to call a function using HTML now. Easy. If it is easy, type ES, easy and simple in the chat box. If it is easy and simple, type ES, easy and simple in the chat box. Okay. It is, how is the masterclass going for you? And it says it's amazing, right? And when I click on this, it says function called. Simple. Okay. Now, moving on to the next thing, the next big question is that, Ashish, I want this text to be something as thank you for the feedback. Yes or no? How to write that? Very easy and simple. I want to do something in this heading, right? So I will put an ID to target this heading. I will say ID's title. You can name this whatever you want, title, heading, paragraph, whatever you want, you can name it. Okay. Now, you'll go over here in app.js, and inside this, you could say let title, right? And you could say title is equals to document dot get element by ID. What's the meaning of get element by ID? The meaning of get element by ID is that I want to get this HTML element by its ID name, the ID that we have created. What is the ID we have created? The ID we have created is title, right? We'll go here. We'll say that the ID is title. Once it is done, see, now I can console and log to see what is the ID that we have created. So if you see this now, it says ID dot inner text, and I could say here something as thanks for the feedback. right? And I could go over here and I could put an emoji as well, right? Something like this. Now, if you see this, if I make a refresh, it says, how is the masterclass going for you? If I click on it's amazing, it says, thanks for the feedback. How amazing that is, how easy it is. If that's amazing and easy, type AE amazing and easy in the chat box. That's amazing and easy, type AE amazing and easy in the chat box. Before I move ahead, I just have one question. And my question is, have you ever found JavaScript so easy and simple before today's webinar? Have you ever found JavaScript so easy and simple before today's webinar? If the answer is no, type no in the chat box. Okay. Before I move ahead, I just have one simple question. And the question is, do you want to learn JavaScript, and for the same reason you're spending so much of time on YouTube, Udemy, Google, and different other platforms, and still you are not able to figure out the things on your own, right? The more you deep dive into these platforms, you get more and more confused because everyone talks about a different way, a different approach. And because of that, we get confused on what to follow, what to avoid, what to learn, what to skip. And that's why we are spending so much of time, and instead we are not able to learn the things out of it. Yes or no? If you face the same problem, type yes in the chat box. If you face the same problem, type yes inside the chat box. Not an issue. Today, I'm going to tell you a very simple way on how you can get rid of that, and how I'll help you to get rid of this problem, and you can start learning JavaScript in an amazing manner. Okay. All right. Before I do that, now a lot of students will have a question, Ashish. This is okay that when we click on this button, it's amazing. It says thanks for the feedback. But now this button is of no use. Yes or no? Now this button is of no use, and we want to hide this button also. Yes or no? If you're having that question, type me in the chat box. If you are also having the same question, type me in the chat box. Okay. I'll tell you how to do that. It's very easy and simple. See, we all understood now how can we target an element. We can target an element by its ID name. Yes or no? So what I will do is I will take that same ID, I will go back, I will go on HTML, and in this button tag also we'll create an ID called button. Okay. I'll go on here and we'll say that we have a button variable where I want to store my button. So I'll say document.get element by ID name, and the ID is button. And now I could just say button. I want to apply this style. So I'll say dot style. And now you can apply any CSS. For example, you want to change the background color, you can say background color. So you can say background color, and you can say background color is blue violet, right? It's just an example. So if you click on this, now the color is changed to blue violet. But what I want to hide this button. Easy and simple. Instead of background color, you can say that I want to change the display property, and I want to make this display to be none. And if we refresh this, you say, how is the masterclass going for you? Click on it's amazing. It says thanks for the feedback, and your button is also removed. If that is amazing, type AMZ in the chat box. Right. All right. So now, are you all ready to make your application, which is the currency converter application, live with me right now? If you're excited for that, type excited in the chat box. If you're excited for that, type excited in the chat box. Yes, if you're excited for that, quickly type excited in the chat box. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I tell you that, how many, I just have one question, and the question is, how many of you want to continue your journey of JavaScript with me live from here onwards without wasting your time on platforms like YouTube, Udemy, Google, and different other platforms? If you want to continue your journey of JavaScript with me from here onwards, type with you in the chat box. Type with you in the chat box. Yes, quickly type with you inside the chat box. Okay. Okay. I'll tell you how you can do that, but right now let's focus on the currency converter application, right? So I will just comment this, and we can start by creating a card class. So first of all, I need to create a UI, right? A design for my currency converter app, right? So whenever you are creating a design, you can always create a layout of it. So you can say that we can have a box like this, where we can have our title, something as the we can have a title over here, we can have a description over here, right? And then we could have the input field over here, like where the user will write the value in um give me a second, where the user can write the value in USD, and then here where we can get the result into INR, yes or no. And then we can have a button over here that says something as convert, yes or no. And here we can have an icon kind of thing. That is how we can do it, yes or no. Okay. Now let's move ahead and let's quickly do it. It's going to be very easy and simple. So I'll simply say we have an heading tag, right? That says we have an icon. It could be the icon of money, let's say. So I could just say money over here. So this is how it looks like. Okay. Okay. Next, I could have an H2 tag that says what? Or I can even, yeah, we can have something as JavaScript currency converter app, right? And then I could even have a description saying this is a simple JavaScript app to convert the USD to INR. Hit the convert button to get the result. That is it, right? Now what we want, if you see this, this is how it looks. Now I need my input fields, so I will create a class called form, and here I can say that I have the input field, right? And that mm, let's say that I need two input fields. So this is how the input fields are created. Now in this I could say that we have a placeholder that says enter the USD. I could go over here, I could say placeholder, and that is conversion to INR, right? And then I could have a button with a class called button over here that is something as convert to INR. If you see this output, this is how it looks like. Now let me quickly style this in a couple of minutes. I'll just take 1 minute to style this, right? And then we'll add the functionality to our project. Okay. See, styling is very important, right? So that the project looks good. We can say we have a background color. We could say that we have padding of 24 pixels. I could say that we have a width of 400 pixels, not 4000. I could say that we have margin of 70 pixels and auto. I could say that we have a border radius of 16 pixels. That is it. Okay. And here in my body, I can say we have a background color called we can use bisque. Okay. If you see this, this is how it looks now, right? Now let me style this input fields and all quickly. So I will also say that in my card, when I have an H1 tag, I can say that the font size is 66 pixels, and I can say that margin is 0. If you see this, this is how it looks. Okay. We can even say that the text align is center. So now everything will be in the center of the page. Okay. Let's go on our button, and we can say that the button is going to be black in color, and the width is going to be 100%, and the margin top is of 12 pixels. So that is all what we have did. Now I need to style my input field, yes or no? That is the last thing. I want to style my input field, yes or no? So that they also looks good. Very easy and simple. We can go here in the CSS and we can say that when I have my input field, right, I need a border which is of 1 pixel, it is solid and it is light gray in color, and we have a padding which is of 15 pixels, and I could also say that we have a border radius which is of 12 pixels. If you see this now, this is how our input field looks like. If it looks good, type LG in a chat box. If it looks good to you, type LG in the chat box. If it looks good now, type LG in the chat box. What also I can do is we can say that we have a font size, and the font size is going to be 16 pixels. If you see this now, this is how our input field looks now. Okay, they are not side by side anymore. To do that, we have a class called form. I'll say that the display is flex. If you see this, now we have got the value side by side. We need some space between them, which is again easy and simple. We can just say that in my input field, in my last child, I could say margin left is of 12 pixels. Done. That is how we have got it. Easy and simple. If it looks good now, type LG in the chat box. If it looks good, type LG, and now we can add the functionality onto this, right? Now we can add the functionality onto it. So I will just inspect it, and we can go on the console, and now we can do that. So the first big challenge is that when we click on this input field, right, whatever the user is writing in the USD value, we need to get that value in the console. That is the first challenge. Yes or no in the chat box? That is the first challenge, to get the value that the user is typing in the input field. Yes or no? Very easy and simple. We can easily do that. I'll show you how to do it. Go on HTML file. In your input field, type an ID, and the ID could be USD. And here also you can have an ID where the ID could be INR, right? We can use on click over here. We can say on click. When a click is being made, I want to call a function called convert, because I'm converting the values. Let me go on input field, just one more line of code. I can say that the box sizing is border box. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next over here is, see, I'll go on app.js, right? And we'll create a new function, and the function is going to be convert, right? What is the function? Function is convert like this. Now inside this, I could simply say that we have we can say that let USD is equals to document dot get element by ID. What is the ID? ID is USD. And if I log this, if I say console dot log, I say USD over here. See, if I say, if I put some value, I click on convert, I can get my input field, yes or no, but I cannot get the value. What I am interested in, I'm interested in the value. I'm not interested in the HTML element, yes or no. To get the value, I can say here dot value, because I'm interested in the value. And now if you see the magic, if I say 1, I can get 1. If I say 100, I could get 100. If I say 1009, I can get 1009. If I get 10098, I could get 10098. If that is easy, type ES in the chat box. We have just said document.get element by ID, the ID name, and then dot value, and we are able to get the value. Easy. If that is easy, type ES in the chat box. If that is easy, type ES in the chat box. Thank you. Now what I want to convert the value. So I can go here and I can say USD to INR. Okay. It is 80 rupees and 98 paise. Get this value and just multiply the value like this. See. So now if you go and say here, 1 USD is 80 rupees 98 paise. And if you say 10 USD, it is this. If you say 100 USD, it is this. Easy and simple. Whatever value we are typing, we are able to get the value in INR, right? So $1, see, $1 is 80 rupees 98 paise, and $100 is 8,098 rupees. Is that easy? I know you all are having a question that Ashish, I want to put this value over here. Yes or no? How to do that, Ashish? If you're having the same question, type me in the chat box. If you're having the same question, type me in the chat box. See, it's going to be very easy and simple. You all can easily do that. I'll show you how to do it. See, very easy and simple it is. We have an ID called INR, right? I will store this inside a value. I'll say that let INR is equals to this, right? And now I can say here that document dot get element by ID. What is the ID? ID is INR. In that we have a value, and I want my value to be INR, right? So the value that is stored in this variable will be put in this input field inside this ID INR. Okay. Now, if you see the magic, if I say, let me close this, we do not need it. We can say one, see, we get 80 rupees, 98 paise. If I say 100, we get 8,098 rupees. How easy it is. If this is easy and simple, type ES in the chat box. If this is easy and simple, type ES in the chat box. And similarly, you can create any kind of converters, right? You can use the same three concepts of variable, functions, and DOM, and you can create converters like you can convert kilometers to meter, you can convert kilometer to yard, you can convert kilometer to feet, you can convert kilometer to inches, you can convert kilometer to millimeter, you can convert kilometer to centimeter, you can kilometer to miles. Yes or no? Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. Just one single second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So, okay. Can you all hear me now? Okay. Okay. Great. What I was saying is you can use the same concept to create all these kind of converters. Yes or no? Just using the same three concepts, you can create all these kind of converters: kilometer to meter, yard, feet, inches, millimeters, centimeters, miles, right? And then again, now you can take yard and you can again convert them to yard to meter, yard to feet, yard to inches, yard to meter, yard to feet, yard to centimeter, yard to miles, and so on. If that is eye opener, type EO in a chat box that how using these three concepts you can create all these projects on your own. Right now, no one actually talks about that how you can use a concept and you can build so many things on your own. Yes or no? No one literally talks on this that how you can use a concept and you can build so many things out of it. Yes or no in the chat box? Quickly, yes or no? That is what you need to understand, right? Because when you go on YouTube, Udemy, and Google, people want you to watch their content multiple times and to waste your time, right? But the answer is you can use one concept to build thousands of projects. For example, if you go on a very popular website called Omni Calculator, right now, if I say you can create a BMI calculator, you will not believe. If I say you can create a speed calculator, you will not believe. If I say you can create a loan calculator, you will not believe that I can do it. But I'll show you that how using same three concepts you can do it. For example, if you go on BMI calculator and you search it, okay, let me go on BMI calculator. If you go on this option, see what you need. You just need two input fields, right? Where you need to take height from user and you need to take the weight from user. Yes or no? You need to take the height and the weight from the user. You can take two input field or three input field and then put them in a formula. What is the formula? The formula is this: BMI is weight divided by height square, and you will get a result that will be the BMI of a person. BMI calculator done, right? Similarly, any kind of calculator you want to create an interest calculator, or let's say EMI calculator, you can take the EMI calculator and you can say principal loan amount, what is the loan term, how many years and months it is, and what is the interest rate. You can put all those values in a formula, right? That is EMI is principal amount multiplied by rate of interest, and then this formula you can put the value into this and you will get the result. If that is the eye opener, type EO in a chat box. You can do all of that just using the same concept. For example, if you go back again on everyday life, there are tons of calculators available like commute calculator, horsepower calculator, gas calculator, fuel cost calculator, GBR calculator, speed calculator. If you click on speed, distance upon time, right? You can take the inputs over here and you can put them in a formula and you can get the result. If that is eye opener, type EO in the chat box. EO for eye opener. There are 3,000 plus calculators here. You can create all those 3,000 calculators just using the three concepts I have taught today. That is variables, functions, and DOM, right? No one on YouTube and Udemy will tell you that, because if they will tell you, you are not going to watch their 3,000 projects that they are putting on their channel, like how to make a BMI calculator, how to create this, how to create that. They are yeah. Is that clear to everyone? If that's clear, type clear in the chat box. If that's clear, type clear in the chat box. If that is eye opener, type EO in the chat box. Now, how many of you feel that if we have a right mentor, the things becomes literally easy and simple? If you feel that if we have the right mentor, the things becomes easy and simple, type me in a chat box. If you feel that when we have a right mentor, the things becomes easy and simple, type EO, type me in the chat box if you feel the same. Yes or no? Okay. Before I move ahead, I have a question, and the question is: how many of you want to continue on the journey of web dev, on the journey of JavaScript with me from here onwards? If you want to continue on the journey of JavaScript with me, type with you in the chat box. If you want to continue on the journey of JavaScript with me, type with you in the chat box. Okay. Before I move ahead and tell you how you can do it, see, I'm organizing a 7 days live boot camp because it's not possible for me to teach everything in a day or in 1 or 2 days, right? So I'm organizing a 7 days live boot camp where I'll teach you everything you need to know in JavaScript, whether it is the basics like data types, variables, loops, conditionals, or it is the advanced concepts like async await, promises, higher order functions, APIs, JSON data. All of that is what I'm going to cover in this 7 days live bootcamp. If that sounds amazing, type AMZ in the chat box. If that sounds amazing to you, quickly type AMZ amazing in the chat box. Right now, I know there are a lot of people who might be thinking it's going to be for free, right? But let me make it very clear over here that it is not going to be for free. It's going to be a paid 7 days live bootcamp. And the reason behind that is the reason is very easy and simple, right? When we get the things for free, we never ever pay attention onto that. That is the only reason you have so much of content available on YouTube, Udemy, and you are never able to learn from that, right? We feel we are the smartest person, and because of that, we go on torrent and different other websites and we download the most popular courses for free from there, right? And then those courses just consume the space of your hard disk. You never ever tend to open that. Do you all agree on this? If you agree, type agree in the chat box. You might be thinking how I know that, Ashish. You even might be thinking that how you know that. If you all agree on that, type agree in the chat box. You know what the reason is? The reason is when we get it for free, we never ever pay attention onto that. And when you do not pay attention, you do not get results. And that's why we feel, that you may have right now we have 412 students, and I can guarantee more than 400 of you will be having at least 2 to 3 Udemy courses, at least 5 to 6 YouTube libraries bookmarked, but you were never ever able to do it consistently and you were never able to complete that. Yes or no? What is the reason? The reason is when we get something for free, we never ever pay attention onto that. And when we do not pay attention, we do not take actions. And when we do not take actions, we do not get results. Right? It's going to be very affordable. You all can afford it, right? It's going to be live. And I will teach you all that live. No one else will teach you. I'll teach you the whole 7 days live. And the best part, it's going to be totally affordable, right? Let's try to understand with the help of an example. Right now, there again, I know there are tons of people who might be thinking, Ashish, all that is available on internet for free, so why I should pay you? Here's the answer. You all would have gone for a party with your friends or family into a hotel or to a restaurant. Yes or no? When you go there, you complete your lunch or dinner. The waiter gives you a glass of water, you take a sip, you come back. But if you have paid for a water bottle, no matter it's 20 rupees, 80 rupees, 120 rupees, right? Even if 200 ml of water is left, you take the water bottle back home and you finish that water later. That's the difference when you get the things for free and when you make a payment for that. If that makes sense to you, type MS makes sense in the chat box. If that makes sense to you, type MS makes sense in the chat box. Yes? Okay. Here's the thing. It's going to be a 7 days live bootcamp. I'll teach you all that live. We'll talk about the basic concept, right? And we'll be moving on to the advanced concepts like async await, promises, higher order functions, closures. And we'll be making two amazing big projects. One, we will be making a random codes application using the API and JavaScript. And number two, we'll be making a to-do application with all the important functionalities like the sorting of the task according to their due dates, completing a task, finishing a task, and showing notifications when no task is there. All of that is what we are going to do in this course, right? Yes, Sahid, you can add those projects into your resume, right? And here's the thing, it's a 7 days live boot camp, right? Costing every day 100 rupees. So price that 699, right? But today, on a very special offer, I want to give all those people who are live here right now, I want to give you a huge discount. If you all looking for discount, type discount in the chat box. If you all are looking for discount, quickly type discount in the chat box. It is priced at 6,999 rupees per day. But today, for the people who are live here, not for everyone, only for the people who are live here right now, you all can get it at a very discounted price. But here's the thing, since it is a discounted price, it will not be available. Yes, it will be live. The classes will be live. Since it's a discounted price, it will not be available for always. there will be a time limit of 10 minutes to avail the software, right? So you have the 10 minutes. You can use these 10 minutes to get the pricing. Okay. Let me quickly share the timer with all of you, and then I'll share the link as well. Okay. So I believe that the timer is visible, and I have dropped the link. So if you decide to be a part of this course today, not at 6,999, but you can be a part of this complete course, complete bootcamp at a one-time price of 399 from 25th of January. It's going to start from 25th of January, exactly after 2 days. The link has been dropped. Click on the link, register for the bootcamp right now. Once your registration is done, once your payments are received, I will be announcing your name. Your time starts now. Please be quick. If anyone has any other queries or questions, let me know in the chat box. I would love to answer all your doubts and queries. Right? It'll be the same time, Mayank, from 9 a.m. to 10, 9 to 9, 10 to 10:30. Right? That's how it will go. The link has been dropped. If anyone has any other queries or questions, then do let me know in the chat box. I would love to see you all inside the course. If anyone has any other queries or questions, then please do let me know inside the chat box. Once your payments are received, I will be announcing your name. If anyone has any other queries or questions, then please do let me know. Yes, if you're missing the live session due to any reason, you'll get the recordings, and you'll get the recordings with lifetime access, right? You'll get the recordings also. If you miss the live sessions, you can do that. Okay. Once your payments are received, I will be announcing your names, right? If anyone who has made their payments, type payment done in the chat box. If your payment is done, type payment done inside the chat box. Once your payment is done, quickly type payment done inside the chat box. Vela Shiri, your payment has come through, welcoming you inside the community. Vasudha, your payment has come through, welcoming you inside the community. Shahavar Faruqi, your payment has come through, welcoming you inside the community. Yes, if you miss the live class due to any reason, you will get the recordings of each and every live class. And the best part, recordings will be available for lifetime. Okay, the recordings will be available for lifetime. Shiva Krishna Bira Boina, your payment has come through. Kirtika Cherela, your payment has come through. Akshaya Reddy, your payment has come through. Produtari Lavanya, your payment has come through. Shivangi, your payment has come through. Praveen Ganesh, your payment has come through. Once you have made your payments, quickly type payment done in the chat box. I would love to see once your payment is done. Nidhi Arun, your payment has come through, welcoming you inside the community, waiting for other students. Please be quick. If anyone has any other doubts or questions, do let me know. I would love. You cannot make the payment, Hamza. I'm so sorry on that. You will get the source code inside the WhatsApp group. Okay, you will get the source code inside the WhatsApp group. Praveen Ganesh, Kaushik, Tanveer Singh Ghai, your payment has come through. You have made the best decisions. I'll see you live inside the course from 25th, waiting for other students. Please be quick. Once your payments are done, I will be announcing your name. Once your payments are done, I will be announcing your name. So there's anyone who has made the payment and I have yet not announced your names, then do let me know. Hamza, you will not be able to make the payment, right? Shahid, you have initialized your payment completed. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name, waiting for other students. Ujjwala, let me check that. Ujjwala, I cannot see your payment still. Give me a second. Lakshmi, your payment is still pending, waiting for others. Alan, let me check your payment. Give me a second. Let me check that. Just give me a second. Let me check that. Okay. Just give me a second. Once your payments are received, I will be announcing your names. So please be quick. The timer is ticking and last 6 minutes are remaining. So please be quick. Once the timer hits zero, you will not get the same offer again. Kaushik, you have initialized your payment completed. Once it's done, I'll be announcing your name. Ujjwal, your payment has come through. Arjun Royal, your payment is still pending. Please be quick. Shahid, your payment is still pending. Please be quick. Once it's done, I will be announcing your names. Nirmal Das, your payment has come through. Gopi Chandu, your payment has come through. Nitya Bharadwaj, Rachna Shetty, your payment has come through, welcoming you inside the community. You have made the best decisions. waiting for other students. Akanksha, your payment is pending. Please be quick. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name, Akanksha. Kaushik, your payment has come through. Arjun, your payment is still pending. Please be quick, Arjun. Waiting for other students. Abhishek, Farzan Alam, your payment has come through. Welcoming you inside the community. Waiting for other students. Gaurav, you have initialized your payment. Completed. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name. If there's anyone uh, behind, you have initialized your payment, but it got failed. Okay. Shahid Khan says the money deducted from my account. Shahid, I'll check that. Give me a second. Gurudev, you have initialized your payment. Completed. Once it's done, I'll be announcing your name. Akanksha, yes, your payment has been received. Akanksha. Uh, Gurudev, your payment has been received. Meghna, you have initialized your payment. Completed. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name. Uh, Kaushik, your payment is received. Arjun, your payment is received. Waiting for others. Give me a second, Arjun. We'll check that. Abhishek Patel, let me check that. Give me a second, Abhishek. Give me a second. Sashi, your payment has come through. Welcoming you inside the community. Meghna, your payment is still pending. Waiting for other students. Vinod, your payment has been done. Gavaskar, Anumalla, your payment has been done. Aisha, your payment has been done. Waiting for other students. Once your payments are received, I will be announcing your name directly from here. Waiting for other students. Please be quick. Yes, Yoga Priya, that was a different offer. You do not need to make any more payments, okay? Shaikh, your payment has come through. Welcoming you inside the community. Waiting for others. Yes, Shahid, your payment is received. 699 Kartikeya. The discount is removed. The pricing will be 699. Okay. Sheikh, your payment has been received. Aisha MS, your payment has been received. Rishikesh Manoj Pathak, your payment has been received. Shweta Srinivasan, your payment has been received. Last 3 minutes are remaining. These are the last 3 minutes, right? So please be quick. I would love to see you live inside the boot camp. Once your payment is done, I will be announcing your name. If I have missed someone's name, to let me know. Manish, your payment is received. M. Bhatia, you have initialized your payment. Completed. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name. Your payment got failed for one time. M. Bhatia, now you have initialized your payment again. Complete it. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name. Priyanka Ram Shabd Vishkarma, your payment has come through. You have made the best decisions. Uh, Dheeraj Arun, your payment has been done. Yes, Shahid, you can. Give me a second, Mayank. Can you please drop your email ID, Mayank? I cannot see your payment still. If you can drop your email ID, that would be really helpful. Can you please drop yes, Abhishek, your payment has been done, Abhishek. Your payment has been done. Uh Raghav Chakravarti, your payment got failed. If you're facing any issues, do let me know in the chat box. You were using the debit card and your payment got failed. Raghava Chakravarti, right? Your payment got failed. You can use the UPI to make the payment, or you can try again with a different payment method. What is the issue you faced? The card was declined for you, Raghav, right? So you can either use the UPI or any other payment method. M. Bhatia, your payment is still pending. Please be quick. All right. The students who were not Megha Madhuri, Megha Madhuri, just give me a second. Megha Madhuri, yes, Megha, your payment has come through. Welcoming you inside the community, Megha. No, no PayPal options for now, Raghav. You can only use the Indian payment methods to make the payments for now. Okay. All right. So once your payments are done, I will be announcing your name. Last few minutes are remaining. Only the Indian payments are accepted for now, right? Only the Indian payments are getting accepted for now. Once your payments has been received, I will be announcing your name. Sheikh Nasreen, your payment has come through. Harika Reddy, Akanksha Mandake, Gaurav Raut, Shriman, your payment has come through. Welcoming you inside the community. You have made the best decisions. The link is dropped again. Click on the link, register for the course right now. It's a 7 days live boot camp. Once it's done, once the registrations are done, I will be announcing your names, waiting for other students. So please be quick. If anyone has any other doubts or questions, do let me know. How many of you are facing the issues and need a UPI number to make a payment directly onto that UPI number, right? If you are facing any kind of issues and you need the UPI number to make a payment directly on that UPI number, type UPI in a chat box. I'll drop a UPI number, and yes, after the completion of the program, you'll even get the certificate, Vashuk Pratha, okay? If you need a UPI number to make a payment directly, type UPI. I will drop a UPI number. You all can use a UPI number to make a payment of 399, whether it is on GPay, PhonePay, Paytm, whatever it is. And once your payment is done, I will be announcing your names. If you need a UPI number, type UPI in the chat box. Manish, your payment has come through. Yokesh, your payment has come through. The link has been dropped, and this is the UPI number as well. The UPI number has been dropped. You can use this UPI number to make a payment directly onto this UPI number. You can use GPay, PhonePay, or Paytm to make the payment. Once it's done, I will be announcing your names. Right? You will get the details shortly, Arjun, onto your email. Okay, you will get the details shortly onto your email, Arjun. Do not worry for that. You'll get the details. Okay. M Bhatia, you have initialized your payment again, but it's yet not done. Please be quick. Once your payment is received, I will be announcing your name. Waiting for others. The time is almost up. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes for the students who are facing any kind of technical issues. You all can use these 2 minutes to make your payment, and once it's done, I will announce your name and I'll bind the session exactly after 2 minutes when the time hits zero, right? So if you face any kind of technical issues, then you can skip it for now, Mayank. Then you can skip it for now, okay? All right. So once your payments are received, I will be announcing your name. Rahul Patel, Shraddha Vedre, Noor Alam, Asif Ali Sheikh, Jaspreet, Shubham Dora. Your payments are received. Congratulations. Sure, Shri. You can take that time. Perfectly fine. Not an issue. Not an issue. Waiting for others. Please be quick. You're not from India, Masood, and that's why you will not be able to make the payments for now. We are really sorry on that. Right? We'll soon be providing you the PayPal options if we have, right? Waiting for others. Once your payments are done, I will be announcing your name. Monali Chandekar, your payment has been received. Nilesh Kumar, your payment has been received. The time is almost going to get completed. Roshan Jha, Pushpa Kayan, Dharmendra Kumar Sahu, your payments are still pending. Please be quick. Once your payments are received, I will be announcing your name. The link has been dropped again. Once it's done, I will be announcing your name. If anyone has any other queries or questions, let me know in the chat box.